Story 1. I want a life where I wake up excited about my day instead of hitting the snooze button 5 times. I want something creative and meaningful, even if it means earning less money. I am tired of feeling like I am just existing. Story 2. Self-sufficient, out in the countryside with family and maybe a few friends, away from all the chaos of modern existence. Story 3. I am dreaming of a life where my biggest decision is whether to read on the porch or in the hammock. No more 6 a.m. alarms. No more pretending to care about quarterly reports. Just me, my books, and maybe a garden that actually grows something edible for once. Story 4. A life where mornings start curious, evenings end grateful, and the hours between are spent creating something that outlasts me. Story 5. A quiet one. If I had been Tom Hanks on that island in Cast Away, I would have kicked Wilson into the ocean about an hour in. Story 6. I want to be a fisherman on the beach or work hard on a fishing boat. I have always wanted to live in a small tribe. I have diabetes, though. Cuts and scrapes would be dangerous in that environment. Story 7. I want to be able to pursue my passions without worrying about money or bills not being paid, or services about to be cut off. I want to just enjoy the moment and be able to help when I can. Story 8. Wake up at 4. In the gym by 4:30. Out of the gym by 6:30. I would like to get into weightlifting. Finish walking the dog by 7:30. In this lifestyle, I have a dog. Take a shower. Eat. Probably follow a protein-focused diet. Get ready for work. Morning meditation. Work. Get home. Shower. Walk the dog again. I would love to be able to cook something, just throw together some ingredients that I have, but I probably would not have too much. Maybe scroll through social media at the same time. Maybe listen to some jazz. Depending on the day, either go see a movie, go bowling, play video games, go out to a bar to meet people, attend a night class, maybe pottery or something, hang out with a friend, go shopping, or do my chores throughout the week to allow my weekends to be free. Evening meditation. Get ready for bed. Sleep by 9. On the weekends, I mostly want to go hiking, go to the beach, take a day trip somewhere, indulge in bad food. Definitely take my dog places like parks and anywhere outdoors. I would try to do some archery too, maybe yoga classes or whatever group activities I could find. My apartment would be set up like a bachelor's pad. It would be very clean with straight lines, a nice couch, a big television in the living room, lots of plants, and plenty of artificial ones too. That would be about my life until something changed. Story 9. Small town. I have my own shop. 6 p.m. at my house with my family. Enough in the bank account for any medical emergency. Story 10. One that does some good, something that has meaning and purpose, and preferably one that provides financial stability. I do not care about being famous or rich, but I want to know that I have made a difference, and that difference means having extra money in my account for emergencies instead of barely being able to afford groceries. Story 11. If it could just stay like it is now, I would love not to be surprised for the next 40 years. I would sign for 20 years if they were guaranteed. Story 12. Countryside house without neighbors, a cozy recording studio, and working 2 days a week at my regular job. That would be great. However, affording a nice house and studio is difficult these days. Story 13. A healthy immune life without any disease, with a large farm, animals, a tractor, all equipment, and a beautiful farmhouse. Story 14. I wish I could wake up and be happy with whatever awaits me. At least it should be like that most of the time. However, there have been years when life itself became a chore, as I could not identify any activity that brings me pure joy. Story 15. A peaceful life where my wife and I can sit on the porch with a gentle breeze as our dogs and children play in the yard. We can travel at least once a year. Story 16. A low-stress environment where I do not have to interact with anyone except my partner and cats most of the time. Story 17. Married, farmland, countryside but not extremely isolated, and closest to God. This is all I am working for. Story 18. A life without financial anxiety. Not wealthy or pretending to be rich, simply the absence of constant worry about financial insecurity. Story 19. My instinct is to say none, just kill me now. But honestly, if something's changed, I think I would be fine. So I guess I will actually give a better answer instead of a negative one. I want a life that I am happy living. One where I can get a therapist to help me cope with whatever is wrong with me. One where I can be an adult and own a one-story house and live comfortably without being at risk of homelessness. One where I can work as a storyboard artist for animation and work to become a director for my own animated series one day. Meanwhile, my partner is working in aerospace engineering as they planned. They can get help for their issues too, and we can just exist and be happy together without all the guilt, lack of support, and self-disgust. And we would have cats. Maybe a kid or two, who knows, but definitely cats. Story 20. I am grateful to God for living the life I have. Health, healthy children, a healthy and united family, a roof over my head, food, shelter, and employment. The only thing I would add is having my own business. Story 21. In a home I own with my girlfriend, who I am going to marry. A little bit of land, a vegetable patch, some animals, good income, and lots of traveling. Happy memories and lots of love. It is achievable with a bit of patience. I am already working towards it. Story 22. I want to feel like there is always someone who has my back, and I support others too. I want more connection. Story 23. Did not expect a question to sting like this, but I guess a life that is so successful, financially, internally, and within the community, that all of my mistakes will be forgotten. Story 24. One of community. Let there be block parties and neighbors who want to share a drink. May I live to have an extensive network of people to lean on, and let an extensive network of people lean on me. Story 25. A good life, just long enough to see my parents die before me. I do not want them to wake up to find me dead. Story 26. My family and my partner stay healthy, and I feel excited about every new day instead of only waiting for the weekend. Story 27. One where I do not agonize over work. One where I do not fear monthly bills. One not oppressed by the wealthy. One surrounded by friends and loved ones. One free of soul-crushing debt. One where I can see a doctor without going bankrupt. One free of fascists and their supporters. One where workers receive enough pay that they do not have to use government assistance. One free of billionaires. Story 28. A calm life. A house close to the sea. I want to grow my own vegetables and fruit. I want to have budgerigars and dogs as friends. I do not want to hear about wars and politics. Story 29. A life where money is not the obstacle or obsession. I know it is a state of mind, but one many find hard to ignore in today's world. Story 30. Just to be comfortable. Have a couple of breaks a year. To have a job where I am given a task and it is up to me to sort it out with no external influences. When I write it down, it is actually an achievable goal if I put my mind to it. Story 31. The one where I am financially stable enough that whenever I go into a restaurant, I can order an appetizer without worrying about the cost. And at the end, take a ride home. All that with a partner or perhaps a family. Story 32. I want to live a life where my mom does not call me the N-word, and my friends do not tell me I am not black enough. I want my boyfriend to not want to hurt himself. I genuinely do not know if we are still together. I want to watch our artificial general intelligence and our artificial intelligence business take off. We have so much to live for, but his entire family, including myself sometimes, treats him poorly, and he just cannot take it anymore. I am trying very hard to make things better for him. I want to become the girlfriend he genuinely deserves. Story 33. A fulfilled life helping animals without burnout or mental health issues. A healthy life where I can do the physical activities I want and need to do. Complete financial wealth to help others without worry. Story 34. A life of adventure and being myself, with seriousness and joy, smiles and laughter. Filled with light and some exciting challenges. Story 35. The kind I create is with the man I have yet to meet. Otherwise, I will create a life of my own, as I always have. I have not met someone in my hometown and have not been interested in anyone here. My separation and divorce were in 2010. There will be Federal Bureau of Investigation and Central Intelligence Agency investigations into those. attacking our identities and rights in our hometown and pretending to have knowledge, wisdom, authority, power, control, or blackmail over any of us. We are Doherty. I am single, divorced, and not involved with other people's property, crime, or the police. My daughters, Olivia and Katie, and I have a civil case against those involved otherwise. Story 36. Freedom. Loneliness is a mindset. I am single, child-free, and my parents are gone. It is quiet, but in a beautiful, slow-paced movie kind of way. I am present and able to take in the beauty around me. I was afraid that if I lived the way I wanted, I would end up the way society told me to fear. Well, here I am, and I am actually the closest to happy I have ever been. Story 37. One where I can make as much money as possible without losing all sense of happiness, so as to have a good retirement in a random low-cost but decent living style country. Story 38. I would like a life where I could express my creativity for a living, but that is not always an option. Story 39. Whatever doesn't make me feel like a burden on society for using government insurance. I always feel terrible thinking that someone else deserves this more than I do, even though in reality Medicaid is difficult and the providers are barely above a malpractice suit. Sigh. Story 40. Everything is the same except I have a nice small group of friends, 3 to 7 people, where we hang out a few times a week. Having no friends is really difficult. Story 41. Boring and traditional. Small town, steady job, old farmhouse, a bunch of kids, SUV, some dogs and cats, and maybe goats or chickens running around. Lots of family time. Story 42. I want to feel 100% happy on my own without any conditions or dependencies, relying only on my own mind within my own body when I wake up in the morning. I am not there yet, but I am getting much closer than I used to be. Story 43. I want my boyfriend to come get me finally. We have had unavoidable circumstances, but I am stuck in a remote area and do not know anyone. I am ready. I am annoyed with this whole situation. Story 44. A life where I am no longer part of the rat race, where I can live a peaceful life with my family in the forest. Story 45. Reaching my elderly years without health issues that require others to do basic tasks for me. I do not crave a wealthy life at all. I just do not want to worry about the next month's bills. Story 46. An uncomplicated one. I do not mind working, but I do not want it to be a daily struggle. What is wrong with those nice little office jobs that pay well where you can spend a good chunk of your time socializing with coworkers, put in your 25 years, retire, and collect a pension? I do not think workers realized how good they had it just 20 to 30 years ago. Story 47. A life without anxiety or obsessive-compulsive disorder. Sharing it with someone who loves me as much as I do. Living a calm and simple life. Taking care of plants, and making music in a cozy house filled with decorations. Living the art I create and being able to show it to the world without worrying about their opinions. Story 48. I do not know. This year has been strange. I have tried many new things and met many people, yet I have not achieved anything meaningful. I have a decent job, but I am struggling immensely with my studies. I have the attention of girls, but I can never find the right Person für me. I have the skill and the means to make good music, but I lack the motivation for it and I am too afraid of my work being judged. It is a strange limbo. While I have somehow managed to stay afloat in the past few years, I now feel like I am steadily drowning. I hope that time and a bit of self-discipline will help me sort these things out. As for what I will make of my life, I have no clue at all. I cannot see myself in 5 years, partly because I am poor at making plans, but mostly because I am honestly afraid of what I might become. If daydreaming is allowed, I want to live an active, ever-shifting life. A bustling city, late-night drives, music shows, plenty of physical exercise and more. It would be nice to have a solid job, just the right amount of good friends, and a loving partner. I feel like that is the kind of vibe I tend to align with most of the time. Story 49. Comfortable in solitude. I can linger in bed all day reading, watching classic films, and writing my short stories. A maid might wander through once a week to tidy up. I enjoy unlimited food delivery, and being able to attend all the Michael Jackson fan events and concerts by 3T and the Jackson family around the world. That truly would be the ideal life for me. Extra points if a man who looks like Terrell Jackson is part of it. Story 50. A happy one with minimal pain. If I am really lucky, I will make a positive impact on society. I would be very pleased with just the first two, though. Story 51. A life with less worry, acceptable health, and no chronic pain. Overall, a life of peace and contentment. Story 52. Comfortable. I do not want to worry about expenses, and I want to be able to afford enjoyable activities. I want to spend time with people I care about and do things I enjoy. Story 53. If I were given the chance to do it over again from a certain point in my life, I would buy 3 to 4 acres of land, build a small shop on it, and just live. Story 54. I'm lucky to be living the life I want to live. I have a job that I like and a partner who supports me. The worst thing going on in my life right now is that my 17-year-old son seems to be directionless. But many of us were that way at that age. I am doing my best to be supportive and kind, 2 things my own mother was not. I do not like saying this out loud, but it could be much worse. Story 55. One where I can be happy with just the little things. Find a supportive partner and live somewhere in a quiet town. Story 56. I want to upload my consciousness to artificial intelligence that provides a digital utopia extended to the end of time. But that is just me. Story 57. Married, happy with an amazing husband, traveling the world, and planning our future together. Also, my mother completely heals from cancer. I complete all my professional exams and have an excellent work-life balance. Present, poor work-life balance. Weekends are spent studying for exams. All friends are married, and sometimes it feels lonely. Story 58. In all honesty, to afford a high-quality cocaine addiction, the world has gone so astray. I would rather be high, living in solitude, and be in my own world. Just me, Shiva, and Shadow. Do as thou wilt. Story 59. Pain-free, with a small plot of land or a garden where I can help unwanted small animals. Story 60. A less depressing life where it is much easier to find happiness and pleasure in things. A life with less self-doubt. Story 61. I want to be able to sleep without pain waking me up. I want to be able to sleep without pain stopping me from getting to sleep, and I want to be able to cook, clean, and eat without pain. Beyond that, and only if the above happens, I want to be able to do the basics of life and enjoy it. I want to cook different foods. I want to do many different hobbies. I want to make art, write, create music, play games, and more. I want to connect with someone, spend my life with them, and share hobbies and interests. I want to be there for someone and know I can be when it matters most. Story 62. Having a quiet life, maybe by the sea. Not having to be pressured to work 40 hours a week. Actually being excited about life. Story 63. A life of luxury, where I own the building, and the residents better well respect me and hold the door. Story 64. Spent my late teens and early 20s angry at everyone. I just want to have peace and do better for the people I love. Story 65. A quiet life with a calm partner. Little to no drama. No unnecessary sarcasm, lots of love, and spirituality. I believe I do have a quiet life but need a partner. Story 66. I just want something simple, like having enough money to live comfortably but still able to save some. Maybe go on a vacation or 2 each year. A decent house, nothing crazy. Go to some concerts. Visit places I have never been before. Enjoy time with family and friends. Story 67. I just want a peaceful life. A little home filled with plants, books, warm food, and people I love. No drama. Just slow mornings, quiet nights, and the feeling that I am safe and enough. Story 68. A soft life, to be honest, nothing extravagant. Just peace, emotional security, good coffee, and people who don't make love feel like a battlefield. Story 69. Peace of mind. Feeling content so that I can finally accomplish what I want and not feel that I have to keep improving constantly. Story 70. I do not know. I am already living my best life. If I think more, maybe more and more people will come into my life. That would be nice. Story 71. Financially stable. Happy and the life now is somewhat bearable, but it is still different when financially stable. I do not need to worry about the prices of my needs and wants, as well as the bills and loans that need to be paid every month. Story 72. I do not even know. I have not had a minute to think about it. My mother has been asking me, and I tell her the same thing. I do not know. Story 73. One where I can afford to live on my own, take a vacation or two a year, and pursue some hobbies. Be able to eat out at a new restaurant once in a while. Be able to buy a car that lasts more than 5 years. Story 74. One where I am remembered as being kind. I remember being in high school and one girl giving another girl a tour. I overheard, "That's Black Cat. She's really nice." It made me very happy. I didn't know the first girl very well either. Story 75. I do not have big dreams. I just want to live a quiet and comfortable life with my own family in the future. Story 76. I would like to win the lottery and buy a small cottage surrounded by trees about 30 minutes from a major city. I would spend all of my time gardening, gaming, and exploring other hobbies or volunteer work. This is basically what my grandparents did during their retirement. Story 77. I want to settle down in a cozy cabin somewhere with a partner. We will grow our own vegetable garden and herbs. Story 78. Quiet and happy. I want a piece of land and a house surrounded by cornfields, away from people and busy roads. I don't need a lot of money, but it would be nice to have enough to pay someone to mow my yard every week. Story 79. A life filled with traveling and adventure, with time for loved ones and friends, and the ability to live comfortably, and maybe have a few ducks and a pond. Story 80. If it is possible, I would like to live a comfortable but simple life. A wife, kids, and a house just enough for my family. I do not have to want or need anything more. Story 81. My dream life is being someone's spoiled puppy. No stress, just food, naps, and endless cuddles. I would wag my tail and whimper if they stopped petting me. Story 82. A life that is completely impossible. Ideally, I want to find a couple of good friends, at least one of whom lives close enough for me to see them in person occasionally. I would also like a life partner and to be able to sell the things I make while earning enough money to live on, instead of trying for a big corporate job that my body will not allow me to do because of health issues. Story 83. I am tired of being hungry. I am tired of not having time for my hobbies. I am tired of feeling behind with no hope of catching up. I am tired of being tired. I want to live a quiet, comfortable life without being too tired to live in it. I will be okay. I have a cat son to look after. I have to be okay. Story 84. I want to be an archaeologist living in a different country with a happy family of my own. I know it is far-fetched, but I just started my freshman year of college, and I am working toward my goals slowly. I also hope I outgrow my epilepsy and can live a life like a normal person. Story 85. Honestly, a life of control over myself and how I feel at any given time will make all the other challenges a lot easier to deal with. Story 86. I want to live a healthy life for sure. I am currently very healthy and try to be grateful every day for that, even on hard days. I know that when you are sick, nothing else matters. Story 87. Honestly, I'm kind of living it now. I'm in a good relationship, and my first child is due in September. All I really want now is to live a long life and not be financially stressed for the rest of it. Nothing crazy, just comfortable living and maybe, just maybe, own my own house. Story 88. Well, I am a teenager, so I am going to be idealistic here and say an adventurous life, doing a job I actually like. Story 89. A financially stable life where my son and family are well cared for. Where we own a home and live in a place where all my animals are on the same property. Story 90. Simply to be happy. I don't feel the need to be drowning in money, though I would love that, or to have a big house and multiple cars. I just want to be happy and content. Story 91. A peaceful life. Live in a community, take care of one another, save and raise some animals and create art. Story 92. The life I live now is fine, but the people are not. They are unmotivated, lazy, and ungrateful. I try changing social groups, but it is hard. Story 93. A quiet, self-sufficient life with my husband and children, close enough to stay connected to the real world, but far enough away from the rat race. Story 94. One where I am not constantly on edge at home due to being hypersensitive to neighbor noise. However, I cannot afford a house. Story 95. I want to be the old woman people spread rumors about, saying she is a witch with a husband who is a bit eccentric. My husband and I talk about this often. Story 96. This line of self-reflection questions seems to be popular this month. Is this the part where artificial intelligence is trying to learn from us? Is someone putting whatever model this is to work? Edit. Yes, the account is a few days old. It is probably artificial intelligence. Also, I mean, come on, man. Curious human? Really? Story 97. I want to believe in myself and not fall victim to negative self-talk. I want to make more than $150,000 a year. I want to live in a cozy 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house that is full of comfort and has more than enough room so that my younger brothers can live with me. I want to have a garden with milkweed and native flowers, growing fresh food for me and my brothers. I want to have hobbies like sewing and going to a local sewing club. I want to make friends and build community. I also want to go to a swingers club and be in a throuple someday. Story 98. A quiet and peaceful life, without anyone interrupting or annoying me. Sadly, my life right now is far from that. Story 99. A life where something good happens to me just feels like my life is full of bad luck. Maybe I am superstitious, but I blame my black cat. Story 100. One where I do not have to think before. 1. I choose what I eat. Irritable bowel syndrome is difficult. 2. I do not have to think before spending money. Story 101. The life where I am free from my negative thoughts and moving out of my parents' house. I want to enjoy scrolling through social media without any of my relatives following me. As an Asian, my parents are very strict. They know where I am, who I talk to, and what I post online all the time. If I unfollow someone, they always question me. I am exhausted. I just want to be alone. Story 102. I just want to visit the doctor once a year, not every month, and have only one primary care provider. Story 103. A life where people in my life are proud of me and want to spend time with me whenever they know I will be there. Oh, he is also coming? Then I am definitely coming too. That kind of life. Story 104. Where I can support myself and save money to invest in my hobbies. If I really succeed despite my modest plan, I will buy a castle and turn it into a man cave. Story 105. I love my job and cannot imagine doing anything else, but I am tired of having the constant background worry of layoffs, particularly due to age discrimination. I am ready to retire, but I am still about 7 years away. Story 106. I just want to live a life where, when I get up, I see the woman who makes me feel blessed, cherished, smile, and be grateful for another day. Story 107. A little luxury, an average house with a yard and garage, a car, a cat, a dog, and always having a certain amount of money in the bank so I don't feel like I'm in a pinch. If my car breaks down, I'll have enough money to fix it without difficulties the following month. If I need a trip because of personal problems, I'll have enough money to go without difficulties. I'm not looking for a rich or billionaire life. I'm just looking for a life without difficulty. Story 108. A life where I am not bound down by expectations, where I can travel the world solo, and if I fall in love, I fall in love. A life where I am not constantly pressured about my inability to go out and mingle to meet someone and get married already. A life where I do not have to spend countless days job searching after finishing my engineering degree because my family is struggling financially and I need to step up. A life where I can pursue my dreams of publishing a fantasy novel and talk excitedly about it with others. A life where I do not have to hear whispers behind my back from my own siblings about how they find me annoying to be around. A life where I can be passionate about something that excites me and not be told that I should not be excited about it. This got a little longer than I expected. It is not as serious as some of the other things people have listed, but I just needed this off my chest. Story 109. The kind of life that does not have as many responsibilities as I have right now. I am done with the responsible role that they expect me to be. Story 110. I want to be just. Nobody deserves to be treated as less worthy of love by abusive people. Story 111. I just want to study orcas near the San Juan Islands, but Washington is too expensive to live anywhere close to the water. Story 112. Like this one plus more money and time. The second part is supernaturally challenging. 24 hours per day is not enough. Story 113. Peaceful as stress-free as possible, and with the ability to do whatever I feel like or nothing at all at any given moment of my day. Basically, I would like to be comfortably retired, but who knows if that will ever happen. Story 114. Like one of the comments says, free of cancer. I am at risk for it since I have Crohn's disease. It is my biggest fear. My mom has beaten stomach, lung, and at one point brain cancer. I cannot go through with it. I have seen how she struggled. Story 115. A peaceful life where I have a place of my own for myself and a cat, a great career in law, and enough food in the fridge to make homemade meals and practice cooking. Story 116. I want to live a fulfilled life. I think quality relationships are the only means to achieve that goal. Story 117. I want to work in the newly remodeled $2.5 billion waste of taxpayer money Federal Reserve building. Okay, it truly is now Jerome the Joker. I did not think it was possible to be a bigger joke than Janet Yellen. Story 118. A happy, quiet life in a hobbit hole with a vegetable garden and a job in the village corner shop nearby. But hey, I am close. So far, I have existential dread, fear of global war, and financial stress. Like a quarter of the way there, right? Story 119. A life with a loyal partner, a happy family, and freedom to do whatever I want. That is freedom of time, money, and space. Story 120. Looks over shoulder. Already lived most of it, just waiting for the end now. And no, most of it was not the life I wanted. Story 121. One of travel, creativity, and simple living, where I wake up excited for my next adventure and am surrounded by genuine friends. A life where I can go with the flow of the world and see where I end up without too much pressure to do everything perfectly, and one where I am evolving and learning new things. Story 122. A life that is financially secure. Feels like that is the only thing each of us lives for. Isn't it? Story 123. I don't need money or to be popular or anything like that. I just want to stop feeling at war within my own skin. Can I have more than 36 hours of stable mental health at a time? Is that too much to ask of God? Story 124. Not the one I have now, that is all I know. I am just filled with anxiety and waiting for the courage to do anything about it. Story 125. A happy one. I don't really care beyond that. As long as I am happy, I am good. Luckily, I am generally a happy person. Story 126. A healthy and peaceful life. I have my life planned out in my head. The kind of house I would like, how I want to decorate it, where I want to go to college and what I want to study and pursue as a career. I am only 14, but I like trying to think ahead. Story 127. Comfortable and healthy. A life where I have a wife, 1 or 2 children, a car without payments, preferably new, a cat, a dog, and a house. Having none or almost no health problems, and eventually dying of old age. Story 128. I want a house on the moon, a large television, and a library. I never want to come back to Earth except to eat Popeye's chicken sandwiches. Story 129. The life of a rock star. Work hard in your 20s and 30s, then get married, have a couple of children, live in wealthy rural areas, and still somehow live to about 96. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.